All right, everyone. Welcome back to the TEC High School series featuring Overwatch. This is the semifinals. This one's the semifinals. The next one will be a quarterfinals matchup. Then we'll be back with a semifinals matchup later on in the evening. But we are starting out here today. Let's take a look at these rankings that are up on stream right here, right now. And our number one seed, Central Cambria. Again, I was talking about it off stream with my wonderful guest co-caster,
Yeah.
Lord Ethan. That the Central Cambria squad really scares me now, honestly. With the recent patch change coming in, with Doomfist getting that buff, getting the regeneration after using Meteor Strike, and then the rework to Sombra actually working now, and the virus does one-shot damage through Amp Matrix. And then Tracer's damage buff. This is a scary team.
Yeah, absolutely. With Dive, that high impact, heavy engagement style gameplay that Central Cambria have really made a name for themselves with. I think that it's just being emboldened by the latest patch is definitely going to make them look like a really good team. Fortunately, as well, we will get to see them play today. But as well as a couple of these other teams, including West Branch, I think we'll get to see at the very end of the day. Gateway, Shade Central, and Connellsville are other teams that we'll get to watch today. Before moving on, I just want to pay a little homage, give a little bit of recognition to some of these other teams in the Division 1 Overwatch High School series. Starting from the bottom and going from there, just because you can't be recognized enough, even if you are there. Where Boyertown High School is, Boyertown, Greater Johnstown, Ferndale, Chartiers, Houston, one of my personal favorites, as well as the old Forest Hills and Winber. A little bit unfortunate. Joker, I wasn't on last week. I'm recovered. Fortunately, the voice has returned, but it was sad to come back and learn about them getting knocked out, and so all of these great teams, have really just gotten to put on such wonderful shows for us over the course of the season, and now we're at the finish line. Now we're at the end of the road, the semifinals. Go to quarters and then back to semis, like you mentioned, but eventually we'll reach the point where one team is at the very top of it all, and I cannot wait to find out who that is. The only way to find out, Joker, is by getting into the games here in a little bit and sifting through some of the details about what makes these teams, what makes these players so great.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned Central Cambria already. I mean, that the Doom dive is just it's been sort of niche, I will say, in high levels of Overwatch, because you need to have a good Doomfist player to play Doomfist and get good value, because I mean, Sigma was still just the end all be all tank, but if you can play Doomfist well enough and get the value that we were seeing from someone like Fork, and I mean, also with it being the TEC, you don't normally see the predominant meta, I would say. So you could get away with running that Doomfist, but now with that change to Doomfist, getting that extra health, and then Sombra rework, the EMP is now 3 seconds of duration. That's double.
Yeah, ability lockout 3 seconds.
Yeah,
is insane.
that's gross.
Team for balance thinking, but that's a conversation for me.
And then I mean, okay, so the Tracer, I mean, oh, there goes a speaker on my desk. Wait, give me a second. One of my speakers fell off. Back to Tracer. You did get that half a damage more. However, it is still up in the air. Is Tracer good? Is Tracer bad? I don't really know if we're gonna be how well it is going to be. You need to be able to have good coordination to follow up the damage that Tracer can provide now, but the survivability, I would say, is still not fully there yet. I still think Tracer can get good value in niche situations, but I wouldn't I mean, I'll expect it from Central Cambria because that's what they play. But in high ranking Overwatch, maybe not as much. I don't know.
You know,
What are your things? What do you take, Mr.
coupled with
Coach
some of
Man?
the no, let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but coupled with some of the other nerfs that we saw to other characters, Brig in particular, that whip
Hmm.
shot damage going down from
Yeah.
80 to 70, that's a big threshold. That's it's still, I think it's still just under half of Tracer's total health pool. And you're absolutely right, 150 health, only 3 blinks, recall on a pretty lengthy timer as well. With Tracer, the idea is that you have to be slotting her into compositions that maximize her strengths. So that's where possibility of seeing Banana Rush make a return. That Curie, Lucio, Winston,
Yeah.
Tracer,
I didn't
Sombra,
even
Reaper,
talk about Winston.
Sojourn composition possibly making a return is going to be really exciting, and plugging her in with other dive components such as the Sombra, the Doomfist, which we're really excited to see, is a good way to see value out of her. But you're right, she's not going to end up, at least in my opinion, 0.5 damage. It's going to add up over time. You're definitely going to feel a little bit better in your quick play lobbies about the damage that you're able to deal as Tracer. But I don't think that it makes her the de facto DPS pick. I think that you may not coach Joker, but you probably could. I think you're right on the money with this one. In the right hands, she will absolutely excel. In the right team composition, she's gonna do fantastic. Some of these kids are so incredibly talented, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Tracer get a lot of value, whether it was today or maybe in the grand finals. But why not run the Sombra? 3-second ability lockout duration? Insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely
crazy.
nutty.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing. I mean, again, I play in gold, so it's a completely different landscape of things. So, but it was crazy to try to play the game as a tank player when the opposing team did try to run Sombra against me. It wasn't fun. I mean, it helps that they weren't that good at Sombra, but still, when you're able to get the EMP up and you're not able to use your abilities for those 3 seconds, it's debilitating. And I will say that, I mean, especially in the capable hands of Central Cambria, it will, because I believe they've been known to play Sombra as well. So it's going to be really hard to match up with. Okay, now we need to stop talking about Central Cambria because there's other teams still left in the high school series here, Lord Ethan.
Sure.
Watch Branch again. I think, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, because you seem to have a memory better than I, that Baldiff has played Doomfist before, has played Winston before, and we could talk about Winston here, because Winston does now have true damage.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nutty too.
It's some people might be inclined to call it to chalk it up to a really significant, really impactful change. The term true damage in gaming is a little bit scary by itself, especially if you're going to be confronted by it or it's being inflicted onto you as a player, right? There's no way of mitigating it, no way of absorbing it. It's just that instance of damage will do the exact amount that it's supposed to, regardless of who you're playing or what your health pool consists of. But for others, they might describe it as quality of life change. That Winston might pale in comparison to the dive proficiency of Doomfist or the sustainability, damage mitigation potential of a character like D.Va. I'm personally excited to see Winston played, and you're absolutely right. When it comes to Baldiff on Gateway, who we'll see here in a little while, I think that there's really not a tank I think they don't or can't play. But I'd love to see a little bit of the sciences coming out. Now, it's not going to be Gateway quite yet. The first
West
match.
Branch, silly goose.
I'm sorry, West Branch. I don't have a memory, Joker.
Yeah, this is what happens when you miss an entire week of TEC High School series because you were sick. You know who was sick and still casted TEC High School series?
Joker's
Me.
ransom.
This guy right here. Now, going into the first match of the afternoon here, we're on to Night Market Lord Thethan, and well, this is going to be a little bit of a test for Central Camp because Doomfist not really that good against Bastion, and Yama coming out on said hero, perhaps to deter that pick from Fork.
Yeah, you know, Fork is just going to be able to raise the gauntlet, get the power block, and possibly refresh a powered punch here. But I do like physics on Genji. This is a nice dive composition that that's a lot of damage deflected as well. That we're going to be seeing here from Central Camp.
I do like the Diva coming out, trying to eat up that damage from Hello there, who is on this Pharah in the sky as Physics goes in with the help of Fork, taking Logan's way. Out of the fight already, and there's a nice kunai to the dome, taking out Yama. The rest is going to be there, though. Getting the Bastion back into the fight is going to be nice, but again, it's not going to be enough, though, to change the tide of this fight, because, well, in the meanwhile that was happening, the rest of Central Cambria are finding every pick necessary in the world.
Yeah, that was a little bit wild. You've got Mophead, well, you know, kind of being a mop, cleaning up the mess of the Gateway there, and the rest of Central Cambria are just planting themselves in the faces of possibly, arguably, their bigger threats like Yama, who ends up going down here as well. That's tough for Gateway here because it does delay their ability to contest, to take a new fight, but it also hurts Yama because they're not able to generate ultimate charge. Look at Physics and Fork already armed with their ultimates.
Yeah, using Meteor Strike already is Fork, getting a lot of the damage down, and Emerald's going to fall down to the Seismic Slam, and then that is just going to allow the rest of Central Cambria to come in with that Dragon Blade coming in from Physics, cleaning Neverfay up and forcing Exuvius back to spawn.
Giving a little peck to the spawn doors there as well, making sure that Gateway knows Central Cambria is right there, ready to pounce. This is where Exodus on the Diva, I think, is a really good call. That infinite damage mitigation potential. Physics with a deflect ends up getting caught out. Maybe a little bit of inting there, but you'll love to see it from our resident Genji mains. Hello Bear is on standby here on the far as well. And look at this, they have Barrage and got almost two other ultimates here on the side of Central Cambria.
Yeah, they're just kind of waiting in the wings there, especially if they can force out this self matrix. Well, they do go down because they did fly right into them. And Gary falls down to the Doom Stomp there. Not looking good for Central Cambria's Gateway have come back with these ultimates and gotten the point flipped into their favor as Mophead falls down now to Exuvius as well, as Physics is going to be kind of caught out here unless they can find a pick somehow. She's going to have to run away, but the thrusters are going to keep Physics at bay for the meantime.
Yeah, and it means that Exuvius is also, you know, really, for lack of a better term, distracted, right? And so the rest of Central Cambria is just going to be able to start pushing and pressuring the objective, possibly get a DMAC here onto Exuvius, which would be a massive boon for them. Gateway with no point presence won't be able to control the objective.
Yeah, and Emerald falling down is disastrous. Fork, though, going to be super low, going to get that healing up, though. Still, and now the Kitsune Rush is going to come through. Neverfay just walked right into that rocket punch from Fork there, taking them down, and quickly getting the point back is Central Cambria.
You know, I really like this from both sides, though. You know, you got Central Cambria just exuding this confidence. They can plant themselves in the spawn as Physics does. A Dragon Blade on 60 health in my ranked lobby. I blame that, but here on air, I praise the confidence as you find more slews of ultimates committed here at the end of the first round. 43%, though, is a really great testament to the way Gateway was able to manipulate Central Cambria and the fact that they got a little overzealous, a little overconfident, right? And so you're really getting to see some really great personalities here in the final stretches of the TEC Highschool Fall 2023 series, where you do have Central Cambria knowing just how good at the game they are, and Gateway being smart enough to break through any adversity that Cambria can represent. Now, you know, at one point though, you do have to start thinking about the map and how it can be adversarial. And in LO there on the Junkrat for Lijiang Control Center, I can't imagine a bigger mountain to climb.
Yeah, this is gonna be really difficult for Gateway here at the moment, but we'll see how they can go in there. Gary swapped over to the Zenyatta as well here, Lord Ethan, as our resident Zenyatta lover. Let's talk about it. I know.
They murked my character. They murked. But I am excited to see Gary get a lot of value out of this character. He's not bad. He's not actually bad. I'm just not happy with the state. The Discord's still so powerful, and especially planted onto Exodus on the Orisa. It's a great way to cut through her damage mitigation potential.
And Physics has already found Logan. The fight and nice plays coming there. Follow up on to the Discord orb from Hello. They're taking Exuvius out of the fight. That is just going to be a first point capture yet again coming in from Central Camp.
You know, just a reminder to all of our viewers watching, you know, if any of you guys are out there representing colleges, you know, you guys have to be watching these players, including Physics. The Genji is so clean right now. You can see Central Cambria's drive to win, but there's still a little bit more of this round remaining, possibly of the map as well. If Gateway can get a little bit of control going, get a little bit of the map in their favor. Emerald's in right now, making plays. Doesn't quite pay off.
Yeah, gonna go down to the trap. I found that being killed by the trap is more disheartening than the rest, just falling normally. As the rest of Central Cambia are able to go in. Oh my goodness, Physics almost touching the spawn here, trying to find out Never Faye as Hello there takes them down in the end, but they are going to be traded in response and going down from Yama, who's come back from spawn. Now it looks like Central Cambia are backing a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. They know that they got to play a little bit safer. They know that that Gateway will abuse how forward they can play. They have ultimates to compensate for disadvantages here, but Gateway also has ults to establish advantages.
There's the Meteor Strike coming out. Terra Surge as well, but Hello there's already found 2 picks. And as Exuvius does find Gary out, though, is it going to be enough to change the tide of this fight, however? As they lose Never Faye in this fight, it should stay in the favor of Central Cambria. Hello there, continuing to just find pick after pick for Central Cambria.
Fork ends up going down. I was just about to go on about how Fork is really proving a point that I was making prior to this match about just Doomfist being really good. Got a Riptire out. That's a really nice trade onto the mirror, but the Blade finds his commitment.
Yeah, Dragon Blade coming through. The Kitsune Rush was used by Never Faye. However, now with the rally coming in, he might be able to hold on to this. Especially, he's going to be able to outlive that Dragon Blade damage, but a lot of people low still. Emerald somehow alive finally goes down as that rally is no longer available. The Kitsune Rush cleaning the point up in the favor of Central Cambria. There goes map 1 to them.
Already map 1 over and done with. The you know, this is these last stretches, these last couple of series that we're going to get to watch here in TEC High School series. You know, we want to chalk it up to be some of the fiercest competitions that we've seen all season. But the fact is that these matches are really just a really great demonstration of the hard work, time, effort that these teams have been putting into their practices, their strategies, and as well sometimes a contest of just who wants it more. And that's really where the competitive games start happening. That's where the really close matchups start happening. You get some really brilliant decision making, some really incredible mind-blowing actually playmaking potential. And that's honestly what I'm hoping to see from Gateway. You know, Lijiang Tower, I hate to say it, but that map is garbage, absolute trash. It has not adjusted well to Overwatch 2. I think very few people actually like playing it, and so Gateway could shake it off. You know, they could say,
Lijiang Tower map. What is that take?
You know what?
Ethan?
I'll go on record and say that I represent the entirety of University at Buffalo with that take. I'm gonna get in trouble for that. Like, none of us like Lijiang Tower. None of us like that map. It's historically been one of our worst, and that's like for all of our teams in the program. We all don't like it, and so I'm hoping that that's Gateway's opinion too.
You don't say it's overplayed, but it's just not a bad map. It's not a hybrid map. Come on, Lord.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
No, it's not a hot take. That's what I'm hearing from the streets, Lord Ethan, that tier 2 players don't like hybrid anymore. That's what I'm
you know,
hearing.
hybrid has some of the same hybrid has always kind of had some of the same pitfalls that old assault mode, the
You know,
2CP game
you
mode
know what?
had.
Another hot take. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
2CP would have been better on a 5v5.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Still wouldn't have been good, but it would.
Oh yeah, it would have, because
more
you know
tolerable.
why? Because Paris would have been back, baby.
Woohoo! Wait, that's the worst. Anyways, we're getting off the rails, Joker, and we're gonna. I think I want to focus a little bit more on Gateway. You know, we saw so much from Central Cambria there on Lijiang Tower. So much control, so many picks. You saw a lot of team-wide kill participation as well. We think back to Gary on that Zenyatta, right? I'm out here being like, trash pick, right? But Gary's out here establishing a really great baseline for participation. You have a lot of defensive, offensive assists. That Discord was applied to so many targets, and it not only helped with securing eliminations, but also helping Gary's helping their teammates build ultimate charge as well, right? And so my focus shifts a little bit towards Gateway, and thinking, how do you shut down Central Cambria if they're so good at having a lot of different styles, right? And I wonder if the answer to that is Gateway just locks it in on one composition that can just kind of do it all, brawl it out, that can dive, that can off angle, that can poke.
I like this. I like the pick.
Especially heading into our next map type, Escort.
And I like the pick. I mean, you were talking about long sight lines here. What better map for long sight lines, Lord Ethan, than Circuit Royale?
Circuit Royale. This is a bold choice from Gateway.
It is a bold choice, but if it works out well, I mean, you can't. I think you have to run the Sigma here if you are Gateway. I mean, you need to be able to take them. You need to be able to poke them before they can get into you, and that Sigma will really help out quite well. You know what else? I could see Ramatra being played as well with that Ravenous Vortex. Being able to, I've tried to play Doomfist into a Ramatra. Mind you, I'm not that good at Doomfist, but I can get things done. And it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard, I will say. But right now, it doesn't seem to really matter because Fork is on to Sigma.
It makes sense. It's Circuit Royale. That's the character that you're gonna play. Not quite. Sigma's gonna have a little bit of a fall off here. My tank player has been hotly contesting me that he's no longer, or he hasn't been in a long time, like the best tank in the game. Although he is like the tank of Overwatch 1, right? He can do it all. He has so much damage. He has a lot of shield, and he is a lot of self-sustain too, right? And so I'm excited to see Fork on the Sigma. We're gonna get to see some really conventional plays here from Central Cambria, and so that's a great opportunity for West Branch to kind of break convention, defy expectations here. As they start out the map on a little bit of a dive-looking composition, and I really like Exodus on the model. Talk about things to conquer.
I mean, you got to think about what you play against folks to really force them out. You kind of play back, and well, I mean, unless Hello There's hitting shots like that onto your Junkrat, it's not what you want to see. But Winston can really work well, but Physics had already kind of predicted it. They're on the Reaper here, and it's going to be kind of difficult to go in because, I mean, that Reaper guy, I mean, he comes in from the side with those Hellfire shotguns. It takes about 2-3 shots and you're dead. I mean, this is going to be really hard, and you've already seen Exuvius just fall down. Logan as well going to go down to the Reaper.
The Reaper guy's
That Reaper guy is my favorite character in the game. He comes in from the side and 2-3 shots.
And look at Gary back on the Zen as well, right? And so you're getting to see Gary light up the assists, light up the assist feed, and Mophead on Iari. I'm starting to come around to Iari as a character. I thought that her nerfs, or I felt like her nerfs made her a tough character to get value out of. But the fact is that as long as you're landing your shots and not being too not using too much of rehealing, then Iari's a fantastic pick to be running here on Circuit.
Yeah, I agree. You're not getting that absorbent amount of damage that you once were, but still a very good support in the game at the moment. It's just getting that pure healing out. Yama does find physics in this fight, but I think, again, it's not going to be enough, though, Lord Ethan. There's just too much damage coming out from Central Cambria as Fork finds Yama out, and Fork's just still staying right at the front, even though they've lost physics for a little bit.
Yeah, this corner hold is something that's a little bit surprising to see on a Sigma composition, right? Because you would think that the Sigma would want to take advantage of longer sidelines than a corner that you might conventionally brawl around. The fact is that they're getting picks, they're establishing some operable space, and the team is thriving for it. They're kind of all taking their own independent 2v1s, 1v1s, and there's a lot of value being accrued in the process here for Central Cambria. There's still a couple things that I really like here on Gateway. Emerald onto the Moira as an effort for self-sustenance and the ability to help the team do a little bit more damage. You've got Yama ready for this Blizzard. Really excited to see that play. And of course, Exodus. There's the Death Blossom. Only gets Never Fade though. That's big.
Yeah, it only gets Never Fade, but the damage is there on the remaining members of Gateway. The follow-up coming in on Yama. Now Emerald is the Transcendence going to be invested here by Gary. Interestingly enough, because you got to think Exuvius is up to this Graviton Surge, and if you're a shot caller, you must have figured that out, or your ult tracker, you must have figured that out by now.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, sometimes you just gotta go for it, right? And hope that that maybe Fork with a kinetic grasp can eat the grab, and or maybe the Blizzard grab goes on.
Ooh, the Dragon Strike is gonna come in response. Blizzard come out from Yama as well, but they've lost 2 to Gary, and the Flux comes out and cleans the rest of the members of Gateway up. Here, no, maybe not yet. Logan's still alive. No, that was short-lived as now they go back to spawn. Exuvius is now over to the Diva.
There's only 15 seconds remaining here as well, Joker. With Never Fade in the rally, Gateway will definitely be able to get a touch here on the objective. The question is, will they be able to stay, especially with Captain Sun coming up from Mott?
Yeah, it's going to be so hard. They do lose physics, though.
No less.
They've got the Captain Sun coming out, but they've lost 3 now, Lord Thief, and this is the opening that Gateway was desperately looking for. Riptide going to come out looking for someone. Can they find it onto? No, Mophead is going to fall down, and I think everyone else is out.
That's tough. Emerald doing a little bit of KSing there on Logan's Riptire target. That was really well played from Gateway. Same kind of deal that we got to see there on Li Zhang, albeit it's in dire straits, but it's that same kind of punish them for making mistakes too close to our spawn.
There's the Death Blossom coming in from the top. Lord Ethan, we talked about the Reaper guy coming in from the side, but never from the top, coming down, Beyblade style, finding 4, as that is going to be that. There's the defense set and the Gateway, no pun intended, set for Central Cambria.
Yeah, it is a very attainable win condition just around that second corner. I think that's what is that? 70 meters. Oh yeah, it's at the top there. 73 meters. That they have to push, and with the just with the ferocity of their attacks, all of our Central Cambria fans are going to be confident that they can push this far. Now, for Gateway, things aren't undoable here. They can definitely pull through. It's a match against adversity, just as it was on Li Zhang Tower, and admittedly not on any better of a map than Li Zhang. But they're leaning into strengths here. You've got Logan on the Junkrat. Love to see some over the rooftop plays, but I understand we're a little bit late in the season to be taking such big risks. But also maybe we're at the perfect time to take such risks. You've got a lot of healing output here with Never Fade and Emerald as well, and so Never Fade being able to give a lot of care to whoever on the team is bringing the value. I think that's really important, and Emerald just being able to sustain the team as a whole is going to be really convenient.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see if they finish this. Oh. Yeah, it's just kind of
that's a little bit unlucky.
Yeah, that's just kind of, yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen when I saw Never Fade just kind of emoting there with, hello there. In fact, did locked the Widowmaker and found them out. So now Central Cambria just had this leisure stroll. This is the slowest an F1 car has probably ever moved in a car. But hey, ooh, okay, okay, hello there. They'll find those 2 shots immediately, as that is going to probably be about it. Yeah, they're just they're finished with this. As Zuvius is just waving hello. No, that's not gonna happen. Central Cambria take the map and the series in a 2-0 fashion.
They do. Really, again, you know, from all of our teams going to be competing in the quarters, semis, and of course the grand finals, which I believe are going to be hosted once again by St. Francis University. Yeah. Big shout out to them. I'm a big fan of St. Francis. I could go on, but I won't. You know, it's a demonstration of just the time, the effort, the commitment that all of these teams have this season. For Central Cambria, it is it's of course a strong showing today, and gives us a little bit of a sneak preview of the excitement that we'll be able to catch on next week's show and in the grand finals if they're able to make it that far. Central Cambria fans, cross our fingers.
Yeah.
And for Gateway, you know, today's just a final run, no different than any other game, any other practice, any other opportunity to meet as a team and celebrate the opportunity that we have to play with each other competitively. And I think that cannot be understated. For Gateway, I'm going to miss you guys. Thank you guys so much for giving us an incredible season, and I'm looking forward to seeing the new iteration of the team in the spring if we are lucky enough to have you guys. For Central Cambria, though, Joker.
Yeah,
it was a killer show.
So I think they have made the grand finals, because this is the semifinals for the TEC Highschool series. So yeah, and I believe next week is the grand finals, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw it on the Forest Hills Esports Twitter. Yes,
we're so close.
December 16th is the grand championship round. On SFU's campus there. So we've got one team already booking their ticket to the grand finals. We'll be seeing, well, not yet who's going to be matching them up in that grand finals quite just yet. We've got a quarterfinals matchup that had to be rescheduled to this week between Shade Central and Cottlesville. Right after this short little break, do not go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss more TEC playoffs right after this. Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back. This is back to the quarterfinals now and ready to go to the game in a few short moments. We've got Shade Central versus Connellsville here, Lord Ethan.
Yeah, excuse me, my voice. It is back, I swear. Shade Central going to be the higher seed in this matchup, this quarterfinals matchup, and the winner of which will move on to face West Branch, which should be an extremely exciting series. West Branch, just historically one of the really goated teams. I say as if every team isn't absolutely goated. But one of the really goated teams in the TC High School series. I'm really excited to see Shade and Connellsville today. I feel like, honestly, I haven't personally had enough opportunities to talk, well, really to watch and talk about how talented these players are. For Shade, just to kind of refresh our memories. You've got some pretty heavy hitters here. Icy, who was actually leading the series, may still be actually in a whole score of statistics. And whether that's damage elims or even damage mit, which I think they had covered there for a little while. You've also got Ton Skelly and Akuno rounding up the DPS lineup, and Meow and Roman Noodles on the support lineup.
Wait. You made something. Meow is their DPS superstar, Lord Ethan.
Yeah, because they play Kiriko.
No, they don't. They play Ash.
Oh, maybe they do. Yeah. You know what?
Again, you miss one.
I am certain, Joker. I've seen Meow on support. I'm hoping we get to see some Meow support today.
I'm sure we have when they're just going out willy-nilly against a team and not caring. But Meow is their Ash player, Mr. Lord Ethan, even if that's even your real name. You know what?
I'm lying through my teeth about everything. Oh, for Connellsville.
You miss 1 week and you forget everything. This is ridiculous. This is who I'm working with. Come on, like deep dish pizza. Now this is ridiculous.
Dish pizza out of this, Joker. For Connellsville, I'm really excited to see. We're still waiting on a couple of players to filter in, but we're gonna get to see Evo West Burner, Winton Tickle, Airflow, all coming back this week. And in a matchup against Shade, I think you have a really good opportunity to look like just one of the best teams in the series today. Especially if you're able to tackle Shade Central, who have, like we've established, some really heavy hitters, and could definitely hold their own against West Branch, and I'd argue Central Cambria as well, even though we did get to see firsthand how scary Central Cambria can be to go up against.
Yeah, it's gonna be really tough. I mean, again, we were talking about Icy being kind of the best tank, I would say. It's probably between him and Fork, who are the best two tank players in TEC. So it is going to be really hard to deal with Shade. I believe they're normally playing Orisa, but can flex the different heroes when needed to. So that is going to be interesting to see what they decide to rock out here on. We're headed to Busan to start things off. Interesting enough. Well, it's not interesting enough because, well, Connellsville banned Lijiang Tower, so...
Let's go. I'm a Connellsville fan just for that.
Initiating.
I am too, just because I see Lijiang Tower way too much. You know? But we're about to see. We're loading into the game right about now, and we're headed to downtown, it would seem. Unless we're completely wrong, because our observer spawned in the middle of the ocean. And no, we aren't.
No, it's Mecha Base.
Yeah, I knew. I see. Oh, and Icy's not supposed to be on map now.
Might just be like a we're locking him to troll the casters a little bit, and then picking a real character. Maga's actually, surprisingly enough, because we always talk about the new heroes when they launch. Maga is one of the characters that we have not talked about at all today. Hopefully we get our chance later, but the first map is gonna be underway here in just a couple of moments, and you have a really strong-looking brawl composition here on the side of Shade, and all, you know, it's also actually a brawl over here on the side of Connellsville, but it's more like that 5-man, 6-man banana rush kind of looking composition. And here on Mecha Base, I'm actually really excited to see that, especially with Airflow and Jade Yeti here on these hit scan, just super high damage out of your characters. There should be some nice diversification.
You know, this is gonna be interesting. Winston Tickle finally being able to use a Winston. He's able to actually use Winston and it not be a throw pick for Ethan. But we'll see how it works for him. Again, that true damage can really help burn down Icy through that armor. They're gonna have to rotate into the point. Akuno and Airflow both on the bashes. Dive comes in, and that's gonna be really hard to deal with that damage coming into that tank configuration. And that's just gonna allow Shade Central to start it off with a point capture. Even though, meanwhile, while that fight was happening, Connellsville got some percentage starting.
Yeah, just a little bit. Airflow's gonna end up getting off of the Bastion, which I could definitely see, you know, why they might be compelled to swap onto the jump right here instead. But really, for both tanks, for both teams, the win condition is going to be playing around the damage that Airflow and Akuno are capable of. Obviously, for Meow, not quite the case, but the Revive is the bring back.
Yeah, Revive coming back in, and still damage is coming out from Airflow, who's on this Junkrat like you were talking about, and Tom Skelly is going to be found out by Jade Yeti. Dr. Tedums is going to fall down, though. A nice javelin was able to come out from Icy and takes out this Lucio early on, but Icy also very low now. Not going to be able to deal with the damage to take Winston Tickle out quite just yet. Now going in on Zinnial for Daddy as well. And that is going to be able to take them out of the fight. And now it's quickly gone back into the favor of Connellsville. The Coalescence is going to be used by Evo's Burner to really solidify the hold unless they lose them out here. No, who knows if people want to go down.
Yeah, and in the meantime, you know, we're actually going to...
Is Icy gonna 1v5? Squash. Jade Yeti very low. Dr. Tedum was super low. Gonna be able to get that healing out from the Moira. But now with the Bob now on point from Yao is to be able to flip the point into the favor of Shade. As this is a nice recontest just off the back of Icy just pushing W. As this is W and Q, I will say. As Winton is gonna go into the back line, goes down, unfortunately, to Akuno and Icy's damage that comes out from them. And it looks like Connellsville are gonna be literally just waiting for Winton to come up.
I mean, that was a really, that was the thing that I really liked about Shade there. It's just that, you know, Akuno, Roman, and Meow didn't die in the back lines of Connellsville, so they were just able to recontest with Icy with the back, and, you know, now with ultimates being thrown left and right, they're still staying strong. Continue to find out Winton.
Yeah, Meow is going to go down, however, though, so now this is an opening that Connellsville was desperately looking for. No more dynamite damage to really deal with it at the moment, especially with Tom Skelly being forced to use a lamp to stay alive. Now, the Riptire is probably going to get good value, and it does, finding 2 picks. This is now going to be flipped back over in the favor of Connellsville. It is the point that should be enough to keep things going, unless this Terrasword finds good value, and Jade Getty falls down. Coalescence is going to be invested. There goes the Sound Barrier as well to try to keep things going in their favor. But if Tom Skelly can come back, they've got this Amp Matrix available. They can if they so want to use it. Bob comes out as well. This is going to be able to help force point for Shade yet again, and it's going to make life hell for Winston Tickle, and they're going to go down because of it. This is a perfect re-engage yet again. Coming in for Shade Central with the Amp Matrix is out for that extra damage, extra healing. They are going to be contested for a bit. The overtime bar now ticking away. Airflow is going to find now, but they go down in the end. This should be the end with Dr. Tedums falling down. Do they get a touch with Winton? They do. With the barrage of bullets from Akuno on the Bastion. Still waiting, trying desperately to hold on to the point, but it's not possible. Overtime bar ticking away. No one's going to be able to get the touch. They do get the touch again. No one able to get the touch, and in the end, Shade take round number 1.
Yeah, we're getting to really see the gall and the gutsiness of these teams on full display here in this particular matchup. Connorsville and their willingness to just jump right in, throw themselves head first into the problems that Shade Central represent to them. But here we're also seeing the real backbone of Shade Central as well. Roman Noodles has only died once, and so all of these times that you have Icy going down, Ton Skelly being picked off early there in one of those early fights on Mecha Base, right? And it's all being compensated for just by the fact that Roman and a couple of other key members of Shade, well, they're all key, but at times the key members of Shade Central just living long enough to be able to re-engage as a team. It's an important call as a team, and I know that they're making that call. Just let disengage. We're coming back. I'm coming back with Terror Search. Icy's able to re-engage right back on that objective and swing the fight, swing the objective for them. So means that Connors will get some objective progress, but if you're not letting your opponent win the game, you don't have to worry about the objective progress, right?
Yeah. Winston's already just. Yeah, it is the biggest problem, I would say, facing Winston at the moment is the still prevalence of Bastion. Winston Tickle at bay with it, but, not having that tank configuration is going to be a huge way to go in and take me out of the fight. And now, this is going to be able to allow Connorsville to take this first point capture.
Like airflow on the Soldier. Not quite leaving the lobby in ultimate charge, but they've gotten quite a bit of damage and have had some really nice participation here. Once again, Connorsville gets early control of the objective. They have to maintain it, and they're going to have to be careful about the damage that they take as they look for engagements and brawls, especially with Winston Tickle. Winston is still kind of a fragile character a little bit, so you want to really be careful with him. The bubble is already gone.
Yeah, as the bubble's already gone, that's going to be a lot of damage mitigation now drawn for Connorsville, but they haven't, Shade hasn't really pushed quite just yet. They haven't found the opportunity to do so with that. The Visor has come in from Jade Yeti, but not going to be able to find him, and they're going to have to back away from all the damage that's coming out, and the Coalescence is going to be there as well. But this is just going to be rest of Shade pushing forward, and it's going to, they already kind of utilize Burner out of the fight. The Res is going to be there on the Icy as well to get them back into the fray and help Shade take the rest of the fight.
That's right, and for Connorsville, that is a good hold too. They built some really good objective progress. They prompted Shade Central to commit a couple of ultimates. You do still have this tactical visor, which invariably will have Roman tethered to it, amplifying its damage, and an artillery configuration that Evo S and Dr. Tread are going to have to navigate around. But with Meow taken out of the fight, that's one of those ults you don't have to worry about, or the revive that you don't have to worry about mid-fight, because that's a really good opportunity to push and either force that tactical visor or score another pick.
Yeah, now, Meow's already going down. They are going to force out the Primal Rage, but it's very low as well. As Jade Yeti is going to be able to help Connorsville take back this point already. And another pick goes in the way of the Soldier 76 for Connorsville, forcing back Shade Central at the moment. And Ice is going to be able to take in the Evo S Burner. Now that's an opening that Shade can go in on, even though they are at the disadvantage. Now going down yet again is not what you wanted to see.
No, absolutely not. What you really want to see if you're a Shade Central fan is Meow being able to use the tactical visor, but Dr. Ted has the sound barrier for it as well, so you're looking at a pretty rough interaction if you are Shade Central at a disadvantage for point progress and position. And now you're going to see the tactical visor in play. But no beat.
Yeah, no beat being used, and they've already lost Evo S Burno, and they're going to lose Winston Tickle as well. Now the sound barrier comes out from Dr. Ted. It's just a little too late, I would say, as the point is going to be flipped over to Shade Central.
Definitely, it definitely could have saved the sound barrier, right? But conveniently enough for Connorsville, Shade used 3 of their ultimates there. Started the attack visor, amplified it with a Valkyrie, and then the Amp Matrix just to make sure that they won the fight. Good investments here from Shade because they needed to win that fight. You don't want to give Connorsville more than you think they deserve, right? But Icy still has his Terror Surge, which may complicate the approach here for Connorsville. You might want that out, but you're also operating on limits of time, and Airflow wants to be able to use this overclock.
Icy coming in already with a pick on the Winston Pickle as well. It's going to probably solidify the fight here. Well, yeah, that's definitely going to do with Dr. Kevin's falling down as well. No speed in any longer. You're still waiting it out here, Lord Jason.
Yeah, they got to wait just a little bit longer. I think Winston Pickle getting back will help them be able to engage. But look, Meow already almost has another tactical advisor. And Ton Skelly with a little bit of participation in this next fight will be able to build the window. Here's the overclock to start things off.
Overclock coming in from Airflow. They haven't found a pick quite just yet. They say that Kuno falls down. There's a Terra Surge coming out, but I don't think it's going to be enough as Jay Yeti's already found 2 picks in the fight. Roman Noodles is still alive, but it is not going to be for much longer as Icy, the lone man on point, going down. The point is going to flip. Is there a chance for a touch? I don't think so, Lord Ethan. We're headed to round number 3 of Busan.
I was about to say that means that there's a chance for a round 3, and you can put my name right at the top of the signatures there on that page, saying I want to see these teams duke it out on downtown. The map that we thought we were going to start off on, definitely one of my preferred maps between this one and Sanctuary. Sanctuary I've kind of fallen out of love with over the years, partially because I can't play my own character anymore. Thanks Team 4 Activision. Well, no longer Activision, but Team 4 Microsoft Blizzard. Maybe they're just Blizzard now. I know Microsoft is looking to make some pretty positive changes from what I hear.
If you can
Let's go.
Let's go. Woo-hoo! Overwatch 2. Finally. Well,
Overwatch 3,
we're
perhaps?
getting to the playable state. We're getting to the
Let's get the Overwatch 3. Let's get the Overwatch 3 thoughts.
4v4. It's a
4v4.
4-5 team deathmatch.
Or 7v7.
Ooh,
We'll bring back 2 tanks and add an extra DPS.
Oh man, maybe then DPS will finally be a useful role. Let's go. And now we get to see this 3rd round. Yeah, I say DPS will be a useful role. DPS is, it's a tough role to get value on, but this is what I really like about Airflow, Jade, Meow, and Akuno is that they have been getting value in this series. And the question for both of these teams is just who can set their DPS up to do a little bit more. Right now it's Airflow, but the res is a fantastic enablement from Meow to get a little bit more done this fight.
Yeah, now Icy can walk forward with that with their DPS back into the fight, but they're gonna lose Roman Noodles early on with that secondary fire coming through. Now, Coddlesville is gonna push back Shade for the moment. Are they gonna be able to keep them at bay? Yes, they are. Ton Skelly falls down. Jade Yeti is on a mission this series so far here, Lord Ethan.
I mean, just based on what I know and have seen of Roman over the course of the whole season, and I really think that for Shade, part of your lose condition is losing Roman. Like I mentioned, Roman's the backbone of this team. So much participation that they are bringing, like helping now be able to take out Airflow, which is a big threat here for Shade. That's a great way to start off this fight, and Ton Skelly has the Matrix to make sure that it's a 1 fight.
Now, Winton's going to try to go in there. They're going to be javelin speared for the moment, but Icy is walking a little bit too forward. They were in the midst of that Winston bubble, so they weren't getting that healing. Now going to be Ant Matrix going to throw to the bite, and now it's going to go down, but there's still a chance for Shade here. The moment Icy's going to come down from the top rope, lose the Terra Surge. There comes out. Eagle is going to be caught out by now. Soundbear was invested as well to try to keep things going. There's the overclock in from Airflow, but there's just too much damage coming out from Shade Central as Icy finds that last pick. Last pick on the Yeti.
Yeah, that was fantastic from Shade. You might look at a fight like that, you might be in their roster and think to yourself, oh man, we used 4 ultimates, right? But the fact is that you invest into a fight exactly what you need to win the fight. I really like seeing Icy drop down with the Terra Surge. That was an incredibly stylized choice, and it did pay off. Got Dr. Ted to drop the beat, and now you only have EOS's to bail out, honestly.
That was a great bubble. It was a great bubble coming in from this particular, just separating Icy away from the rest of the team. And now they're going to be up to perhaps last fight here. Icy's going to make the swap here over to the Ramatra, and like it. Oh no.
That one's a tough pick.
That is tough.
I do like the Rama.
I do too. but we'll see if this is going to be enough. There's 91 and counting. You're going to have to push in here at a disadvantage, and you're going to lose Conskelly. This might be the map going to Connellsville here, Lord Ethan. The picks coming in their way. We got to be able to stay alive, but Romanus is going to fall. Icy's on the point, trying as they will, but they're going to fall down, and in the end, Connellsville takes map number 1.
Yeah, that was a, oh man, both teams were playing really, really well there, and I'm glad to have a really close control point map, because there is a lot of substance to break into. We'll only be able to scratch the tip of the iceberg here with this one, and Icy going to play the game so deserved. Icy's just so incredibly good. But ultimately, yes, had some really great participation in these fights from Airflow, Jade Yeti, the rest of Connellsville, who have shown up today to defy projections and say, you know, Shade Central, we're the ones moving on to face West Branch and maybe beat them as well. Although, you know, Joker, maybe that is also you know, actually, I'm curious to know your thoughts on it. Is it an advantage or a disadvantage that, you know, either one of these teams will move on to face West Branch? You know, do you think it's good that they'll be able to kind of be warm, be in the zone if they, you know, whichever team wins, move on against a team that a really fierce opponent, or do you think that, you know, maybe the nerves and the fatigue starts to set in here after map 2, if the series finishes in 2? Maybe it goes the distance, which might make things even better or worse, right, Joker? I want to know your thoughts.
My thoughts on, because that was a long-winded remark from you. I've already forgotten what you were saying. Can you repeat it, please?
You know, the team who wins here having to immediately move on to play West Branch.
Okay.
You know, what
that
good
so,
or bad?
I will say it has both down good and bad sides, because you're already warmed up, you're in that game mode already, but like you said, you're at your peak performance right now, trying to overcome the hurdle that is Shade Central, and then you come into a team that is projected even better than Shade Central and West Branch. It's going to be taxing on your mind. I think if they want to have a chance, and if they win the series out, they've got to do it in 2 maps, so you have that little bit of time to relax.
Yeah, I could. That's why I ask you, Joker. Is you know, I kind of wanted a definitive opinion, because I can't form one myself. The fact is that I'm going to be really excited to see either of these teams move on to West Branch. I'm going to be sad to see one of these teams depart today, but that is the stakes. Those are the stakes of the of the quarterfinals, of the playoff bracket. You know, you make one series of mistakes and it's over, or you know, or even just the other way around. You know, just the other team just plays incredibly well, like we've gotten to see from all of our competitors today. Moving on to the next game mode, it's going to be Escort. So simple: move a payload, move an objective in the form of a payload from the beginning of the map all the way to the very end. But I'll tell you what, Joker, as my southern accent kicks in there, Shambali is a sinister map.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. Before we talk about this map, I want to make a huge shout out to Icy's family, who's in Twitch chat. By the way, like his entire family's here.
No way!
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Maybe we got Grandpa watching the stream, trying to figure everything out. Too. Huge shout out. Reminds me of Rack Attack. Rack Attack had his entire family in the Twitch chats. Shouted him out too. It's great. Love the support we see from families that give it all, their all into the esports that their child is playing in.
That is really cool. And you know, honestly, no need to talk about Shambali when we've got something that awesome to comment on. Yeah, huge shout out to Isis and to all the parents, teachers, and friends, fellow students who get to watch these games. So it's one thing to listen to us yap on and on. It's another thing to come out and support.
Yeah, as Airflow is going to get out into the fight already. Going out already is some nice plays coming in from Shade, who has made that adaptation. Like we were talking about, the Rotchers come out, and that is going to be very hard to work against with Winston Tickle on this Winston, because that Ravenous Vortex can just shut down movement abilities.
Yes, not to mention, Rama has gotten a couple of buffs that you see now that Ramatra has some armor HP, which, you know, helps reduce the damage taken, and his
already built up. He's already built up to annihilation.
He does so much damage now. It's crazy. He's been power pressed.
That's so gross. He's already beaten. He was he's going to use annihilation already. He's forcing to use that sound barrier while Icy's trying to stay alive. That was a huge bit of immortality field as well. Now Icy's just going to walk forward off the back of the wrecking ball. No, Bob and Ant Matrix coming in from Todd Skelly. They're forcing back Connellsville.
I mean, this is exactly the kind of team dynamic that you expect to see from Shade. It's just heavy investments into your heavy hitters, and that's going to be Icy on this Ramantra. I would be bold enough to say really a signature hero of this particular player. And Akuno still has the Blizzard that they can fall back on. They do have to watch out for Jade getting take the pride shot. This high ground protect on the last one.
Attack Visor's going to come out, and they do find Roman and Akuno. That Blizzard no longer a threat, but especially if you can find out airflow as Icy's going to do so, that might just be enough to keep things going their way, and the Winston Tickle's going to fall down.
Like I said, this map is nefarious even for the fights that you win. It's still so incredibly hard to take objective progress, especially after Meow on this Ashe. Not the Curie. The Ashe! Making waves of impact and already well over there to another bobber there. A minute and a half in time bank, still some resources here that are building up on the side of Connellsville to be able to rely on here in this next fight.
Yeah, they've got to be able to open things up here soon, but oh no, Dr. Denim is very low. Gonna be able to get healed up and won't stay alive for the moment. You need to get that sound barrier up here yet again to save off the aggression because the annihilation's already built up yet again from Icy. There's the sound barrier coming in response immediately, but it's just gonna buy more time for Shade. They're forcing them away from the point, and Abel's burner is gonna fall out of the fight. Now the Bob's gonna be invested to clean up the remaining members of Connellsville.
Yeah, Connellsville is with the Primal comes out from Winton, probably an effort just to make sure that they get to live here.
Yeah,
Winton needs to live here.
Yeah, Winton needs to live here, but that could have used that for another fight, a different engagement, and now Jade Yeti's been found out by an icicle to the dome. As down with the artillery strike is going to come in, they might be able to find a pick, but now is not going to be the case for the moment. Now they try to come in, but they've already lost Evil's burner again. Now the Blizzard being invested, locking up the remaining members of Connellsville and taking them out. Airflow trying to stay alive, goes down, taken down by the pummel. 16 seconds remaining here, and you know what? They said enough of this BS. We're just gonna hold them out right here. Shade is on a different level right now, Lord Thethan. Coalescence being invested by Evo's burner. They're trying to touch the point. They get there in the end, but Jade Yeti's already out of the fight. It might just be over with that kill, as that should be that. As the Winton Tickle's remaining on the point. The Ant Matrix there just going to be beaming down with that extra bit of healing as well. Tom Skelly finding that last pick in the annihilation. Again, being built up by Icy, taking them down and holding them to 40 meters. This is the perfect place to come back in if you're Shade.
Oh yeah, 100%. After a Busan map that just didn't quite go your way, restoring balance here on Shambali, you know, which is the way of the monks in the lore here, you know, the way that they would do things here on this map. You know, that's the perfect narrative here for Shade Central. Joker, I want to drop what I think is going to end up being a very based take, as the kids say these days, and that is going to be that, you know, you mentioned that, you know, things might have been over with one of those last kills that came in during one of those last fights. I think it was actually over from the first immortality field that we saw on Icy's first Annihilate. I think that was actually the beginning of the end for Connellsville, just vying for every advantage that they could, and they finally have Icy isolated in the Winston bubble. Can't get healed, can't do damage outside of it, and all of a sudden, Tom Skelly, you know, like Mercy from the original advertisements, the original cinematics, dropping in a beacon of light and hope, saying, Icy, you live around this corner, and you make sure that we don't lose any more objective progress than we have to. I think that was really the beginning of the end. Now Connellsville has a challenging hold ahead of them.
I 100% agree with you, because if we go back to that, Icy was at 68 HP, and Roman Noodles was desperately trying to keep them alive, and then we saw it boost up to 250 HP because of that immortality field. And I have to agree with you, Tom Scully kind of saved that entire hold right there. I think they did save that entire hold right there, because now this is going to be the last fight. And I mean, especially if you can find this pick already, Icy is going to be super low, but so is a lot of people on Connellsville as well. Airflow's going to go down now to Akuno's fire, and that might just be it, especially if they can find another pick onto a Connellsville member, as Icy's going into the back line with the pummel, taking down Jade Yeti. Especially if they can take down this Lucio, that might just be it. Easy left burner falling down. Zachary Petham's trying to stay alive. They've got a lot of damage on the board, but no longer there from Winston Pickle as Airflow falls down, and there it is, tied up, 1-1.
The mythical map 3, Joker. We finally get to go there. Let's go. We're gonna get to see a push mode between these two teams, which is gonna be really exciting. But before this, let's just continue piling accolades onto these players. The Ramatra, one of my personal favorite characters in the game, especially in the tank role. Just an absolute clinic here being run by IC. A really nice demonstration of why the buffs to him just, again, Team 4, balanced department. What are you guys thinking? But Connellsville, like I said, they had a really challenging hold ahead of them. They had some really difficult win conditions to fight for as well. Get the immortality out so that we can then kill IC, but we have to burn through the armor HP and get through the Nemesis form, and also kill Roman Noodles so that you sever the lifeline that they're providing to the rest of Shade Central. Like I said, incredibly challenging. I think from Connellsville, one thing that I would love to see is just see them use a little bit more of the map. Fight for those off angles. At one point, we did see Jade Yeti go up onto the high ground, ultimately shut down out of their ultimate, their tactical visor, by Jade Yeti. So by Icy. Jade Yeti is able to secure 2 picks, but again, the nefarious nature of Shambhala Monastery really rearing its ugly head there, that no matter how many fights you win on that first objective, it doesn't actually guarantee you any objective progress. And so Connellsville has their work cut out for them here in perhaps one of the less liked game modes here by the Overwatch player base, Push, which is kind of a glorified tug of war here between both teams. And I'm really curious about which of the 3 maps I think Connellsville gets picked here.
Connellsville should be getting the map choice instead of Shade Central. I want to make sure that was fixed, because I don't want anything to call it into question at the moment. So we're gonna get that fixed in a second, because we already had choices coming in, but it was from Shade Central, and they chose New Queen Street, but that's not their choice to make.
Ultimately, you're picking out a lesser of evils.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't fans of Coliseo. Very long sight lines in a really dangerous spiral leading after the first objective capture to the finish line. And then you've got Esperanza, and it's overabundant. Some might argue high ground that makes contesting the objective a very challenging endeavor. New Queen Street, I think, is kind of the sweet spot between the two, but the fact is that both maps have some really nice advantages and disadvantages. I don't hate the mode like a lot of people do, but I am also intrigued to see which map Connellsville picks as an effort to lean into their personal strengths.
Same one. It's no changes.
Yeah, that's unsurprising. That's that's really.
I don't know what they mean. Like, there's not Christmas or Winter Wonderland version of New Queen Street, is there?
It's
I guess
Toronto. Like, there's already snow there.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
I say that as like a native Texan, bro. I can't. I don't have the authority to speak on snow. But I thought New Queen Street was a Christmas map.
Who knows, mean?
Hell you. There's a couple of winter variants of some of the other maps, including one of the old game modes.
Lijiang
doesn't have a. Oh,
yes,
well, no.
Yes,
Lijiang has the
Winter Wonderland map.
It's the Lunar New Year map.
No,
You're
you
picking
silly.
Hanamura.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
I meant Hanamura.
Yeah, Hanamura, they put a nice, pretty winter skin on it to make us think that it's a better map than it actually is.
It is a great map. I miss it. Bring it back. It's my new, whenever I use a green screen, it's my new default background. It's the winter Hanamura.
That's classy. That's classy. You should get a new Queen Street background. That's what
I don't want a new Queen Street background. I want the winter Hanamura background, Lord Deathan. Man.
That's fair enough. I can't blame you. Both maps are pretty good looking, but like I mentioned earlier, you know, I really like New Queen Street. I think it's a nice balance between some of the danger zones of Coliseo and some of the long sight lines of Esperanza, and it really affords itself well to the brawl comps that we've seen both teams lock in. Right, these are styles of gameplay where basically you see all 10 of these players run at each other, use all of their abilities, shoot at everyone they possibly can, and see who wins when the dust settles. But when the dust settles, the projection is that Shade wins these. Now, this is map point. Whoever loses this map will end up getting knocked out of playoffs, and you know, that's not in the agenda for either of these teams. For Connellsville, I like the response to IC's Ramatra that they've developed, but a key difference here to me is Ton Skelly and Roman Noodles on his Bat Mercy combo. It's so unbearably good, those two supports combined together, especially being played by those two players.
So now I have a question for myself and Twitch chat. What would be if Icy's Ramatra doesn't work against this Zarya? What would be the swap for a tank player to make against Zarya? Yeah, fair enough. I kind of just wanted to know that for my comp games, but it's also good for the Twitch chat to know what's a good matchup. But already, yeah, new colors as well. Nice play already coming in. On to Airflow. Here's Meow's gonna wrap around the side, take some damage out onto onto Connellsville and allow Shade to come back in, and Winston Tickle's gonna fall down. Taking care of a very charged Zarya is a huge boom. So I find myself when playing Reinhardt solo shattering high charge Zaryas just to get them out of the fight.
That's actually so worth it, Joker. Oh my goodness, I would love to see that, because that is very worthy. Ultimately, you lose Icy here, and that's a little bit of a setback, but you can afford yourself a little bit of progress on the objective if you are Shade Central, on the condition that you safely back up and are ready to regroup. You gotta watch out, Evo S Runner has more in your backlines building up to that coalescence. So close.
Yeah, very close to the coalescence. It's gonna be the probably the opening that Connellsville used, but Airflow falling down, and Ton Skelly's gonna try to get the res, No, not gonna be able to, and Akuno's gonna fall down, and they are gonna be able to overtake them. With the lead now is Connellsville. That was the Bob is gonna come out though from Yao, try to force him out, but that's gonna be blown up pretty much immediately. Icy's gonna come back though. Annihilation already built up here. Both lessons in response was well. Oh my goodness, the damage on the Icy was just too much to handle. As Connellsville might be able to get close spawns now.
Yeah, you know, I don't think that you're going to get another fight in your Shade to contest the objective, which, like you mentioned, will unlock forward spawns here. Man, that's just the lamentation of the tank player right there. You have everyone looking and doing damage to you. That's the story of Icy there in that moment, and that's going to force them onto that mirror matchup. So they're going to opt into the Zarya matchup. It's just a good call. Jade Yeti on the Junkrat, you know, you're going to get some pretty easy charge ramp-ups and pretty significant damage.
The res is going to be there. Kuno has this Blizzard to start things off, though. That's a great way to get things back into their handle, especially if they can take out Airflow or do not go down to the tactical advisor here. Airflow is going to be caught out, perhaps. No, Icy not going to be able to beam them down quite just yet. Ant Matrix coming through, though, here. This has got to be the opening that they're looking for, and it is. They find out the support line for Connellsville, and they have to back up in this fight now because they, you know, don't have the healing to stay in it.
I really like that. Well, you know who does have the healing right now is it's Shade bringing themselves back. I like the Valkyrie from Roman Noodles to stabilize.
Icy already has grab.
Yeah. I mean, this is Icy's insane.
and Dr. Teddums is gone. Now is Jade Yeti. They win this fight off the back of not even having to invest that Graviton Surge. Especially if they can, they do have to invest the Blizzard though. Again, I like that they still have the Grav. They have this for the next fight. Jade Yeti though has in response the Riptire, which could just stop off any aggression coming onto him.
Yeah, Riptire's kind of a free win condition, at least in my opinion. If you combo with Winston Tickle's Graviton Surge, that locking everyone in place and then blowing them all up with a ton of burst damage, that's a pretty straightforward conventional fight win as well. But you've got a lot of other ults ready to be thrown out into the ring. Starts off with Riptire.
Riptire comes in and they're trying to just counter out Icy already, but no one's falling down. They didn't fall down from the Graviton Surge. Now with the Bob coming out as well, Coalesce's grab came out from Icy. They've got the upper hand currently in this, but Tom Skelly is down. They get the res onto him, which is going to be huge, keeping them in the fight for the meanwhile, and that is going to be huge, and they're going to be able to get these forward spawns here, Lord Ethan.
Checkpoint unlocked, forward spawns activated. The rest of Shade is going to be able to rendezvous with the ones who are on the objective now, but the ones who are on the objective are hemorrhaging resources. There you see Tom Skelly going down, and Airflow is able to clean up the rest of them. Fact is that whether you lose the fight there or not, all that matters is that you did get that forward spawn. There's still 4.5 minutes left in this map. It's so winnable for both sides, Joker.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, they've still got to be able to run away. They could not afford to lose Meow. They don't, which is a great thing. But now they have to walk into some ultimates coming in from Connellsville. This needs to be a fight win for Shade Central here and now. They don't want to allow them to get these forward spawns yet again. And finding Jade Yeti out is massive. Icy coming back, taking them down. Looking for more, and they do. They find 3 picks, make it 4 for Icy on the Zarya.
And 4 picks for Icy on the Zarya, 4 ultimates in their back pockets as well, and you know that they're going to be able to. That's my projection here. Yeah. That's how the push mode works. It's like a tug of war, but you always take a lot. Roman goes down.
They can still change it back immediately if they can find an early pick, and they are going to be able to take Jade Yeti out. But not having the Mercy is going to be massive. They're going to be able to go into this zone. Blizzard's going to be on top of it as well to finish up everything, and the Coalescence was invested from the Evilest as well. It's just going to be frozen away. Down to the Drain, and now they are going to be able to overtake Connellsville as Shade.
Yeah, that was really, really good, and now we've gone from 5.5 minutes to 3, right? Time bank is very rapidly bleeding. Now, for Shade, it was a heavy investment fight, but they're still rolling with their momentum, their picks, and really Connellsville's hope here is to slow them down with ultimates. It's a nice pick on the Tom Skelly, and Airflow just secured it.
Yeah, it is indeed, but the res is going to be there because, well, they don't really have any of that damage to really deal with them. They don't have a high charge Zarya at the moment, and Airflow's going to try to do something. They've still got this tactical visor available to try to push them back. They've got the Riptire as well, and there's going to be attack visor finding Omen Noodles out, but Airflow so close to going down, but losing their supports is massive. Connellsville are going to be able to get the bot back in their favor for the moment, and Icy's going to fall down with that super high charge, but it's a quick fight, so they're going to be able to get back before this probably overtakes the central area.
Ooh, Connellsville may have a Kuno marked, and if Kuno is marked, then Kuno may die, and if Kuno dies, then that's really bad for Shade here. Yeah, that's a really unfortunate stagger. They can still make the most of it here, but things are going to look a little bit dire because there isn't much progress here for Connellsville to retake the lead.
Yeah, and Winston Tickle's gonna have this Graviton Surge going into this fight. Dr. Teddums still has the sound barrier available as well. You cannot lose Icy in this fight early on. You can't lose Tom Skelly either. And Evilest Brothers falls down. There it goes. Icy already built up that charge up to 90%. And they're gonna find the fight, the picks yet again, and win it without the, okay, they do use Valkyrie in that fight, but again, that's a trade you'll take all day, every day.
Yeah, small price to pay. Small price to pay for sure. Meow sitting on their tactical visor. You can combo it with the amplification matrix from Tom Skelly if they're able to build up that ultimate in time. The fact is that all you may need is the grab from Icy. the mechanical visor here and the grab combined. This is devastating damage. Fantastic picks. Just going to yield some progress. JD, you equalize with that? Well, not quite equalize, but you compensate with a Riptire, which is a really nice pick.
They are going to go down late, though, and they're going to be able to just bring Meow back into the fight. Yeah, Winton's Tickle has this grab. They have this sound barrier. There's still chances for Connellsville to win this out, but they need to invest the sound barrier soon. They haven't used it at all. It's been there for so long, Lord Ethan. You can't save it for the next round because if you lose it, there's more matches to play. As Dr. Cuttings is out of the play yet again. Coalescence going to be invested, but the Graviton Surge isn't going to find any fixes. Winton Tickle's just very low. He's going to go down and Meow. That was such a huge play coming in very low on the side of Shade at the moment. The healing is going to be there, and Icy's just finding the picks in the front line. Finding 4 for Shade.
That immortality from Tom Skelly, it's actually enough to like tilt me thinking about how broken Baptiste is, but also how good Tom Skelly's immos have been this series, Joker. Now there's only 15 seconds left, and the point has almost reached the finish line, but it may not matter anyways.
Yeah, this is probably the miracle that they were looking for. It's not there. It's not 34th Street, Lord Ethan. This is New Queen Street, and this is Shade Central's map. There it goes. They booked their tickets to the semi-finals.
We'll get to see them take on West Branch here shortly, and win or loss, I think it's just remarkable the way that they got here in the first place. And if you want to talk remarkable, no need to highlight any particular player besides Icy, or maybe all of them. Everyone on Shade really brought their A game today. It was so cool to see them play against Connellsville, who put up a really fantastic fight in this matchup as well, might I say. That Busan map was something. Absolute really defiance of expectations and projections. And into Connellsville, all I have to say to you guys is GG's. And man, you guys were so much fun to watch over the course of the whole series. And you know, just like for Gateway, you know, I'm really excited to see you guys in the spring as well. You know, always all kinds of changes that you're going to run into between seasons, but you know, usually you're hoping that any change you incur is always for the better, even if sometimes it means saying goodbye to you know, some of the seniors on these teams. And to those seniors, you know, we absolutely wish you guys good luck. For Shade, we absolutely wish them good luck. They're going up against a tough opponent here, Joker, on the other side of a break. Do you have any predictions here for this matchup? Who we save it for when we come back?
I think we see map 3 again, especially if Icy and Ton Skelly play the way they just did.
Yep.
This is going to be really hard for that the diff duo of West Branch to deal with Icy, who is just on another level in that game. We're going to head to a short break. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss the series right after this. All right, everyone. The last game of the regular, well, almost the last game of the playoffs. Last game of the afternoon today. This is the last semifinals matchup, and well, if you are new here, Shade Central just won their quarterfinals matchup. Now going back into the gauntlet, going up against the number 2 seed, the other undefeated roster in this the high school series in West Branch.
Yeah, West Branch is a scary team to go up against. I mean, Ball Diff and DPS Diff, name a more iconic duo. I'll wait. You've got Bayou and Firelord, just incredibly versatile support players, and in the game slays as well. You know, always ready to pick up after their teammates, especially when Ball Diff and DPS Diff. I can say that.
No, why?
My friends this team.
Because you always leave
They're
a
all
paper
they're all such
trail.
talented players, and they picked some. A baller of a first map, in my opinion, as well. If we're talking about Ball Diff, Oasis City Center is going to be our starting sub map, and this is a map where I actually project Shade to look a little bit weaker, especially considering that Ball Diff is, West Branch is on this this dive composition, as opposed to this more poke brawl kind of nature that Shade is looking to take up. It's just playing the strengths of the map, looks stronger here for West Branch, but Shade has already shown us what they're capable of today, so I wouldn't establish expectations quite so soon.
We already seen what Ramatra can do against the Winston. I mean, this is going to be really hard to deal with, but if someone is up to the task, it will be Ball Diff. They're already forcing pressure on to Icy here. So Maywall from Akuno almost separated out Icy from the rest of their team. Going to be able to drop it in time to get that healing up. Still waiting for the damage to come out. The game slays on high here. But Akuno is going to be the one to find the first pick still. They're going to be able to force them out, and the res is going to be there from Bayou to keep them in the fight. Icy is going to take down Ball Diff, and a lot of people are low on the side of Shade, so they can't really quite just push yet. But Icy is there. The game play is going to fall down as well. This is looking good for Shade to start it off.
Oh man, that's crazy. One of the buffs that Ramatra got was an increase to that projectile size on the Void Accelerator. That's you know, the weapon that they're using when they're not punching. And holy smokes, watching Icy just kind of melt away the health of DPS Diff was pretty interesting. You're gonna see some wholesale swaps coming in for West Branch. They're gonna put Ball Diff onto the Junker Queen. They're opting now for a more brawly style game, and for Ball Diff, they're gonna be looking to capitalize on some Junker Queen buffs that she got recently. A little reduction to her spread, increasing her effectiveness at range. But range is not the name of the game here, as Icy goes in for some kills.
Yeah, not at all, as Ari to start it off here. Getting a lot of damage done, but Icy's going to be the one to take DPS Diff out of the fight. He's made the swap over to the Reaper as well. Artillery strike coming in from the gameplay, trying to take out Icy. Now they are going to use this Blizzard as well on the game slays, trying to keep them up, and they are going to go down and out of the fight. The Shade Central team is looking for blood, and they're going to continue going in with that Bob, forcing back the side of West Branch.
Yeah, ultimately you had, you know, kind of similar to some of the other fights that we got to see from Shade so far. You had some pretty big investments that ended up getting made by them. But again, anything that it costs you to make sure that you're winning the round, winning these fights, it's worth investing. You're gonna have to watch out for the ultimates that West Branch will have. But the cool thing is that they won't have quite yet because of those. You know, those swaps that we saw early, so they're taking a little bit more time to build them, but they do have to start this fight here. Looking at last fight territory.
You really are. You've got the Amp Matrix from Firelord to come into this. Ball Diff very close to the Rampage as well, but you've got to stay alive. Commanding Shout getting that healing up. For the moment, the game slays is going to go down. Icy going to find that pick. The Rampage has come out from Ball Diff to take Icy out of the fight, which is huge. Now they can use that res to bring the game slays back into it. They do get Icy in the fight, though. They've lost Roman Noodles, so that should be enough for West Branch to keep things going their way, unless Icy has something to say about it. But Icy's falling down. Death Blossom coming in from DPS Diff, rounding out the fight in the favor of West Branch.
Oh man, It's crazy to look at how quickly West Branch is able to build their ultimate. So even though they do lose that fight, Joker, you know, Meow had committed the Bob. Icy has another Annihilation. Akuno coming up on another Blizzard, and you know, because of the delay in ultimate generation here on the side of West Branch, you know, they only have a couple of ultimates here since they ulted last fight. Fortunately, you do have DPS stuff here ready to chunk down the health of Icy, but again, that Bat Mercy combo here in the backline for Shade is so powerful. The amount of healing it can sustain.
The good thing is they're going to have to wait. You can't proc Nemesis form for a little bit now. After DPS Diff was able to force it out, Artillery Strike going to come in onto the members of Shade Central. They are going to be staying alive for the moment, but still being chunked down, forced back. Low, going to get that healing though, as DPS they did teleport backwards or into the team. I'm not quite sure where they went, but they're still alive is all that I know. Is the Annihilation now coming on the board. Rampage is available. They're going to use it immediately onto Icy to get them out of that Annihilation. They are going to lose Fire Lord though. Now is going to find another pick. They are going to get the res as well on to Icy to keep things going their way, but Akuno's going to fall down by the Jagged Blade. Velvet very low though. Going to get the healing from both of their supports to stay in this fight, and Icy has to go running for the hills to try to stay alive, but in the end they are going to go down.
Yeah, the way, I mean, I don't know if you caught it, Joker, but the way that Ball Diff was moving just to kind of juke Icy out, take a little bit less damage, not expose their critical hurt box, their head to anyone who could headshot them. That was pretty nutty. Ball Diff is actually an extremely mindful tank player, which is a strong quality to have.
There might not even be a touch.
There's not a touch here. You're absolutely right, Joker. And so we're gonna move on to the next sub map. West Branch does take the dub here on City Center, but this is close so far. So if anyone in the Twitch chat has expectations, I would cast those aside for now, so that you're not disappointed when the expectations get broken. Either of these teams could very easily, very quickly usurp the other. And Joker, you and I have mere moments to capture it, which is wild. I want to highlight Ball Diff here just for one more moment. It's amazing how patient they're willing to play. They're actually being extremely patient. They're extremely mindful, but I almost wonder if they're being a little bit too patient. Part of the reason they're playing as slowly as they are, especially when they were on the Winston, is because the composition, the way that Shade is playing, kind of forces them to play a little bit slower. Otherwise, Ball Diff dies way too early and gives West Branch too much of a disadvantage.
No way, right?
What's up?
No way? Ball Diff? Coming out in the hog?
No way. No way. No, not the hog. Don't prove that hog is good. I don't believe it. I won't.
Hog is good. Bro, hog's good.
That's crazy.
Especially if you don't know how to kill a hog. Hog's good. And I can tell you, in gold, people don't know how to kill things. Hog's good. But this is definitely not gold rank players here. Yeah, they're very good. But we'll see how they can work out. They are just going to be chunking their damage down already. But DPS difficult. Very close, but they're just going to bait them in to the awaiting members of the game. Slays and Ball Diff on the Drone Dog, and they're allowing them to get this first capture here. Ball Diff is going to be chunked out now. Nemesis form is going to be used to try to take down Ball Diff early on, as Icy is going to try, but they can't really walk into this. As now they're out of the fight with a nice hook coming in, and the game plays following up. Now the rest of West Branch are going in to get these remaining members out or back, but a nice late pick on the DPS deck.
Yeah, and I was about to say, you know, Shade might be able to capitalize in one way or another, but you know, it's just not going to be doable. Icy is, oh yeah, there's the revive from Bayou. I always forget about the revives today. Icy is going to fall back onto the Zarya. You know, it works for them earlier. It works really well with Tom Skelly on the Baptiste. Rumble is going to move on to the Ana to provide the Bionic anti-healing properties onto the Prologue. That's how you kill him, Joker. So we'll see if we see value have that purple in this fight.
Ball Diff's already found a pick, and there's another one coming off the back of the Roadhog there. DPS just to be able to get the follow-up.
What? What is that? What? That was That is ludicrous. This hero is. I'm done. I'm done.
That was not okay, dog.
I'm slamming my desk and breaking my controllers. There's a hole through my monitor right now. How's that managed to hook a Kuno? You got some ultimates here on both sides.
He was going. The best part about it was he wasn't even going for a Kuno.
Oh,
he was going for Roman noodles. But Baldiff is gonna get anti for a bit, but gonna be able to take a breather now and stay alive in another nice shot. Dude, this guy's nasty, dude. We were talking about, Baldiff being one of the best tanks. It was between him and Icy were the best tanks in the league, and he's showing us why yet again. Baldiff on the Roadhog, just denying every space necessary. Finally had to use the They had to use the anti-nade, and this is just gonna be able to keep going for.
Ooh, what a nice sleep.
And a nice sleep, but and West Branch take the map.
Yeah, I'm conflicted, Joker. I refuse to admit that Hog is a good character. But certainly I cannot contend that Baldiff was running all of the tanks extremely well. Better than Icy so far. We will see. You're absolutely right. Those two are in perhaps some of the most highly esteemed players in the TEC High School series, especially for this fall 2023 season. Joker, you and I have had no shortage of excitement watching those two, and especially for it to come to a head here between Icy and Baldiff and the teams that are really composed and with strategies oriented around enabling the highly aggressive playmaking potential of these tank players is just absolutely spectacular. But it is going to be West Branch taking the dub here first, and that means I think that they'll get a map ban. Shade will get map pick here for escort game mode. Again, that's the game mode, Joker, where you just got to push an objective all the way to the very end. Earlier we saw Shade do really well against Connellsville on Shambali Monastery. I almost wonder if they opt for that one again.
Yeah, I would have to say, I would think that might make the most sense for Shambali to be the choice, but again, we've seen them be able to, play out, we've seen Baldiff be able to flex to any real different hero, so they might not go Roadhog. They probably won't go Roadhog. They probably won't go Winston here. They can go over to that Sigma that Baldiff was hovering for a little bit. But I don't know, man.
Banned, I think.
No, Shambali was Matt. It was the ban by
Cunning.
It makes sense. If you're watching the stream, why would you let them go back to Shambali?
You don't want Shade playing in Shambali. They will absolutely destroy any team on Shambali. Shambali caters to far too many strengths, and there are already too many strengths as it is on the side of Shade Central. But Shambali in particular, it just makes Shade quite possibly. Maybe this is
Baldiff says checkmate in the match chat.
Okay, Baldiff. I love all of them. They're so funny. I love watching them.
I'm interested to see where they go.
Shade might actually be the best team in the series on Shambali. That would be that's perhaps my my most hottest take of the day, or maybe that's a pretty chill take. I don't know. Someone will have to tell me.
Interesting choice here, Lord Ethan. Interesting choice. Indeed, Junkertown is the choice from Shade Central.
DPS tip goes ew. I'm right with DPS tip on that one.
Well, hold on here. Now I have a soft spot in for Junkertown.
Okay.
Only because one game I decided to queue a DPS and play Widowmaker, and I popped off. I got like 20 kills on Widowmaker, and I was going up for all these flank angles and I wasn't getting so I mean that I still like I like Junkertown.
I was gonna try and do the like the cinematic came out like years and years and years ago. It's just a little short with Junker and Roadhog, and it does the little theme song. It's Junkertown. But like I'd hurt my voice doing that, so like the falsetto's gonna be the best that you guys get from me. But Junkertown's a fantastic map for Cypress. Joker for Widow, Hanzo, Ash, which we aren't seeing any snipers yet, actually. In fact, yeah, what is this? Baltif is going to mirror the Ramon. This is curious. This is getting off the rails, Joker, a little bit. I might need you to put some of these pieces together for me. These are almost entirely, well,
Similar comps, yeah.
Yeah, similar comps. And it almost looks like West Branch is trying to beat Shade at their own game. But like, I'm sorry, you guys are West Branch. You guys have ball diff, DPS diff, Bayou. But you guys are not Shade, you know. So I'm really interested to see, what strengths they're looking to capitalize on and how exactly they're looking to play. And is that a lineup? I don't think it is. I call cap. Yeah, there it is. I saw it on the rooftop at the very back. Joker. That's not quite a lineup. They're after this vortex. Look what's going on.
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, it was probably a lot closer than I had ever gotten. So hey, that was a nice one. Yeah, that was a nice one indeed. I'm really interested. Like you said, I don't know why Baldiff would try to mirror them on the Ramattra when he was playing so much better on like different heroes. And I don't really like the shield, and we see there the game slice is going to go down early on in the fight as they are going to get that res back in though. So there's still an opportunity for West Branch to come into this, but damage from Bastion. The game slays. The Bastion is just too hot to contest right now, especially with that Mercy Pocket coming through. And it's just going to allow Baldiff and the rest of West Branch to clean up kills. Oh, wait. They lose Baldiff. Now Meow's come back from spawn and spawn DPS diff as well. This is an opening that Shade desperately needed, and Icy is going to be able to keep moving this card forward.
Yeah, all you need is a really good sleeper or Bionade to open up the fight. Let Icy just run in with the Annihilation. You've got 3 ultimates on standby here for Shade. You're looking at some really attainable objective progress, possibly a free capture of the first objective, as long as you're playing your cards right. But here in the open stretches of First Point Junkertown, that might be a more complicated endeavor than I make it out to be, especially considering that you have just as many ultimates being banked here on the side of West Branch.
Yeah, as Baldiff's gonna have this Annihilation if they do so tend to push into them. Spectre might be used right now, but the Annihilation and the Nano, this is just going to be so much damage to contest with. Then you don't need to invest anymore. You can't invest anymore if you are West Branch, because, I mean, well, all the people that had ultimates are dead. But other than that, you've lost that fight. 4 minutes, 26 seconds to go for Shade's attack.
And that's a time bank that you can feel pretty good about, Joker. If they're in that Junkertown game you were playing Widow, you felt good about having 4.5 minutes in your attacking time bank, And so for Shade to pick up some momentum here, especially after the 2-0 on Oasis, this is really good momentum, really good for the series as a whole. We want to be able to see that map 3. We want a fiercely competitive match between these two fiercely competitive teams, and I want to see what ultimates get thrown out here by West Branch.
Yeah, they've got to start their hold here, and I think they're going to use this Blizzard any second now, especially if they can take... Yeah, and there's the Immortality field now gone. There's no way to stave off the damage coming in from West Branch, and they're just going to clean house off the back of that one ultimate.
Joker, now I'm getting a little bit worried for Shade. This is a really scary place for the objective to stop here on second point. Second objective on Escort and Hybrid is always where you're going to get stymied the most. As a team, it's always where the biggest stone walls are going to happen. And I don't think that there's yeah, it's just going to be tough to break through these chillers.
Yeah, it really is, but they've got good opening, especially with DPS dip now falling down to Icy's opponent. And now Bayou is going to fall out as well. So I mean, this is going to have to be West Branch giving ground. I mean, unless Baldiff can change the tide of this fight even more with another pick onto someone from Shade. But it looks like they're mostly going back at the moment. But Icy's now low, and Baldiff can go forward, it seems, but not quite just yet. is not going to be able to get that anti-heal on to Baldiff, as now the gameplay falls out of the fight. So go sight that Shade we're using in the Annihilation is going to be coming out from both of the Ramatras, but Baldiff is going to be the one coming out on top of it all. They go down in the end, but they force out ultimates, which is huge for West Branch. The game slays, cleaning the rest of them up with their artillery strikes.
Yeah, you know, you probably could have saved it, but being a Mei hater myself, although Akuno, I'm a huge fan of their Mei. It was, you know, I do understand, you know, artillery striking a Mei out of Cryo. And you know, this is what I'm talking about, Joker. We're down to 2 minutes, just under, and Kart's not gotten much progress here on second phase. Really nice to annihilate from both sides, but Baldiff's does end up being bigger. You know, more of Shade concentrated in their back lines than West Branch concentrated in theirs, as well as this high ground advantage that's so hard to crack.
Right now, they're gonna try to go in. Baldiff here is gonna be forced back at the moment. Now with the Annihilation, or not Annihilation, Tactical Visor coming in, but they're gonna be running into that Blizzard from DPS dip and shutting down that combination. That could have been so deadly, and the game slays Queen's house with help from Baldiff, as that is going to be the hold. Yeah, again, 1:09 on the board.
Oh, and it only cost them 2 ultimates too. That was the Blizzard and the Valkyrie. You had ultimates come out from Shade in earlier fights, and in I think that Nano got applied to that one as well. So Roman's going to be back onto the signature Mercy, which I think is a fantastic call. But now they have a window for Firelord to fight through, and Baldiff almost has another Annihilate.
That is huge, though. Firelord have the Amp Matrix available. Now Bayou is going to fall down. There's still an opportunity to turn this back with a lot of damage coming out of the supports, and they're going to use the Annihilation. And now they've got Tom Skelly out of the fight. They can find more. That would be huge from Baldiff, but they're going to have to proc down the Annihilation, go back for that healing, and Baldiff's going to fall down. Now there's only 20 seconds remaining. They still have a chance. Does Shade, and so does the West Branch here.
Yeah, there's definitely a chance to touch. Although the game slay is going down, there is absolutely massive. It does necessitate the revive from Bayou because the artillery strike is on standby, and you got other ultimates to work with. Baldiff is back on the hog, man. What are we doing?
Honestly, I like the pick. That's so much pick potential coming in, but Meow's found Firelord out. The Blizzard is huge, but in response, there's one from Akuno, blocking up DPS dip. There's the animation coming in, but it looks like yeah, with the Annihilation coming in, it should be Shade coming out on top, with forcing them back. Now Bayoulay's gone, Baldiff is gone, Game Says is going to fall down, and a new lease on life for Shade Central going into point 3.
Harrowing and beautiful. Those are the 2 words that I'd use to describe both the defensive and offensive situations for these teams. Shade making the absolute most out of what little West Branch is giving them, and West Branch as well, just executing some really incredible plays that I wish I was skilled enough to replicate in my ranked games. Now we're going to get to a little bit of a swap in the identity of the composition. It's still Brawl, but you know, with Junker Queen now, possibly just for the utility of the Rampage, the anti-nade, but Baldiff ends up going down. That's huge.
Yeah, it is huge. The res is going to be there on Meow, though. So they're still in the fight, and they've still got the advantage here. Icy's going to go down. They are very low, but they're going to have to proc that Nemesis form to get health back, as the game plays. Going to be caught out a little bit. DPS Dip's going to be forced to ice block in this fight. Now the Amp Matrix coming on board. Not yet. Meow couldn't find any value with the Tactical Visor either. This is not looking good. They're going to be able to come back from spawn. Is West Branch, and they're finding 2 key picks in the fight. Amp Matrix not going to find any value or hoping for it. Neither is the Immortality Field, as West Branch come back and hold at the doorstep for the moment. 8 seconds remaining. There's no real chance for a touch here.
You got Meow on there, but yeah, no, in overtime touch, you're not going to see that. You know, I empathized with Icy right there at the end, getting caught in a matchup against Baldiff, just as Ramatra, as a tank, as any character, you just really don't want to be shooting the tank unless you absolutely have to, right? If you don't have to worry about brawling it out with their front line. You know, you really just want to move on to the supports and the squishies, and it's tough to play Ramatra and get locked into a duel against a tank, especially one like Baldiff. And so that was just a really nice execution from West Branch, saying, hey, let's put ourselves in positions to where Icy can't actually target the ones that Icy needs to. And it's also just a really unfortunate compromise that Icy ends up having to make there. And the reason that they made that compromise was to help bail out Roman Noodles. Roman Noodles just ended up getting forced into a bad situation. Icy says, let me help you out. It's not what sets the team up for failure, but it doesn't set them up for success either, right? And that's really what they were gunning for. Now, the cool thing, Joker, is that they were not held on Street Phase. That's the lose con, right? That's the mental shatterer here on Junkertown, is if you don't get progress there on the second objective against that atrocious high ground that just locks you down for way too long. That time bank after first point capture, Joker, for Shade was 4.5 minutes, and it got bled all the way down into overtime before they managed to cap the second point. So for Shade, it's not over yet, but for West Branch, it's very doable to end the series here.
Yeah. Yeah, they're back on the Winston as well. That's interesting. But they're going to be walking into the pummels coming in from Icy, but Akuno's going to be fouled out immediately, Lord Ethan. Huge opening play coming in from West Branch, now looking for more. As Baldiff hasn't been focused out by this Ravenous Vortex, and they're going to be able to take down Meow and Ton Scully. This is what you want from your diving diff duo.
Oh yeah, no, and it was absolutely
Triple D's right there, baby.
From it was beautiful from Baldiff as well, drawing aggro from Icy, forcing Icy to drop onto the low ground so that then they as Winston could just jump right back up onto the targets that they really wanted to be fighting there. I also really like game slays moving on to the objective. Just a nice little principle that you actually don't need to put your supports on the point to get it moving. Your supports are actually needed on the front lines. And the front lines here are Baldiff moving on to Meow and Roman Noodles, making sure they don't have the space on the high ground that they want to. Icy goes back. We're looking at first one capture for West Branch. Supposing things go.
Yeah, as now, okay, they're gonna be able to get force out. The Primal Rage is gonna be perfect though. Maybe not. Bayoulay's gonna be felled out. Primal Rage is gonna find Meow as well. Are they gonna be able to keep things going their way? They do. They get the capture. 5 minutes on the board for point number 2.
Baptiste is the character that I use to get myself in and then promptly out of GM. And Ton Skelly, I need you to run a workshop with me on how the Immortality field, because it has been perfect layouts coming out from Ton Skelly.
Out of GM.
I'm out. Because I'm not throwing Immortalities like Ton Skelly. He's so good.
Now we need to get you out of Masters on tank too. Everyone, if you have 14 on tank, throw your games. No, but seriously, into this fight though, Icy's gonna look to come back, but the Kitsune Rush is gonna be procced early from Firelord to just force them back, not even get a chance to touch, and there's the artillery strike finding Roman Noodles out. Annihilation to just try to stop off this aggression from West Branch is just not possible. They do lose Baldiff, but the rest of West Branch have already found picks, but in the meanwhile, they didn't really push the car here, Lord Ethan.
So they're getting progress now. That's so much damage going into Icy. What do you do about it? If you're the tank, if you're the DPS, and now DPS diff in the back lines, making sure that there's not an opportunity for anyone to touch. There's not a chance for Roman to come and bring a revive to swing the fight. It's quite possible that you see West Branch capture this objective as well, with a party time bank going into third. The final to deal with as well. Help Roman!
Now is gonna find a pick, but oh my goodness, a nice play coming in from DPS there with the reflect onto them. Is they are gonna get the res back. Firelord's in the fight, but they've lost the game plays meanwhile, so there's still a chance. Well, maybe not any longer with the blade. Sorry, from DPS depth there, taking down Icy, and in the end, 4 minutes 34 seconds between West Branch and their ticket to the grand finals.
It's very doable here for West Branch, Joker, and part of why is because of just how how good their defense was on that second objective. I've already highlighted it enough, and obviously Shade has not had that same opportunity to defend the streets phase, as we call it. But that doesn't matter, because however treacherous you think the second objective is, the third is even more so. Shade can absolutely stabilize here and bring us to a map 3. But one thing that I really want to see from them is just the ability to kite around Baldwin, but losing Bayou is huge here for Shade.
Oh, it definitely is, unless there's a quick change back, and there's one right there. Aquino falling out of the fight, going a little too aggressive there. Now they have to contest with the remaining members of West Branch, and Baldwin is just putting on so much pressure that they have to force out Amp Matrix into them. Now they're just gonna push in forward even more, and they're gonna find Skelly out. They're gonna go down in the end. I mean, obviously the DPS tip is gonna be there to follow up on more kills, finding Icy out as well. Sleep is there, now it's gonna find them out, but there's still picks going to the way of West Branch, and this might just be over, Lord Thethan, as the cart is making the last band.
Oh, no, there's a chance to touch.
There is the chance to touch, but the Primal Rage was there to try to keep them out of the fight. The lamp was used. Now the Kitsune Rush coming in. That might just be the last bit for West Branch to win it all out. They've got the Annihilation. They need a pick. They need someone. They've found 2. They might be enough. Icy comes back with 3 with the Annihilation to hold on for the moment. But Tom Skelly's got to stay alive. No, they don't. The Diff Duo still alive on point. They've just might have solidified themselves. No, they go down. Both Diff and DPS Diff. A hold coming in for Shade Central.
What a hold. What a hold. Nice stuff from Shade. What a stabilization. And what an attack as well from West Branch. I don't want to come off as like a West Branch hater. Shade Central super fan. Just both of these teams are playing so incredibly well. I can't pick one Joker, but one of them has to win here. Neither of them have ultimates. The closest we're gonna have is Meow coming up very dangerously close on attacking for Visor. That's all you're looking at is a defensive measure, at least for now.
Yeah, now Baldrip coming in onto the front line of Shade Central. They're going to be forced back right now. Pummeling is so much damage to deal with, but a lot of people are low on Shade, and Baldrip has found a pick on Demiel, who had tried to use their Tac Visor. This might just be the end here, Lord Thethan, as the pick's going in the way of the game slays with 4 or 5, maybe. I think maybe was that an ace or was it 4? It doesn't matter. What matters is West Branch take the map and the series and book their tickets to St. Francis for the grand finals against Central Cambria.
That game is going to be bonkers, Joker. That Central Cambria versus West Branch game. I mean, this game was insane though too, and I mean, this was one of the closer 2-0s that we've had. West Branch is they've long been just one of the top tier competitors in the T side. No way. But the fact is that, I mean, Shade absolutely deserves every accolade that they've ever gotten from us, from the other casters, from their teammates, from parents, teachers, staff, and even other teams. Icy drops Icy drops so much damage, does so much for their team, and the rest of Shade wraps around Icy and makes just a completely impenetrable defense and an unstoppable offense. Shade has been perhaps one of the greatest pleasures to watch of all of the teams, and they've all been fun to watch, Joker. But Shade is right up there with the rest of them for me, and it's disappointing to get knocked out at the semifinals. But for the show that they put on during the regular season, Shade, I'm so thankful for you guys.
I am too, and I mean, this isn't the end of them though. We still have the spring series. We still have this team to stick around for us in the future, but for now, we only have 2 remaining, and that is Central Cambria and West Branch, and boy, oh boy, is it going to be a series of Overwatch next Saturday.
So fun. So mark it on your calendars. Make sure that you guys are awake early enough in the day to be able to capture. There's more than just Overwatch action happening that Saturday, Joker. It's going to be Rocket League, Valorant, and Overwatch, both I think Division 1 and Division 2 finals. So we've got more than just that one series for you guys, and the whole day is going to be just as action packed as the final moments of this last series. Joker, I'm so glad I could make it back this week, and I cannot wait for Saturday.
I can't either. I'm super hyped to be there. Hopefully, I mean, I don't think we'll be there in person. Maybe maybe if some things can happen, some deals go with
The
Seth.
stars align.
If some deals with Seth happen, we might be able to be there in person. But we'll definitely be there casting from home. If not, but that's going to be it from us for today. We'll see you there on Grand Finals Saturday. But make sure to follow the channel if you're not going to be there in person. You're not going to want to miss that. And also, there's Rocket League Middle School tomorrow as well. So make sure to follow that as well. Thank you all for watching. This has been me, Joker's Ransom, Hid Lord Thethan. And wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful rest of your day.